Tips, everybody. How you doing today?
I'm great. Look at this.
Kevin's on a roll, man. That is the Jazz Warhol.
The Jazz Warhol.
Yeah.
Who is Warhol?
Andy Warhol?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was going to say.
I actually saw one of his things at LACMA when I lived out in California. I went to the Los Angeles, was it County Museum of
big
Arts?
out there, yeah.
I think it was a Warhol there. I think it was it the, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't there. And if you've been there and you're like, oh, you didn't see that there, it was a Campbell Soup one. I think he had a big.
Oh, there's
Campbell
one for
Soup
everything. Like that. It's funny to think that this now is basically just a filter that you set on a picture. But at the time, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
All right. So I got something for you today. So, I was looking at this article. Fortune magazine put out this thing, 20 most important personal finance laws to live by.
Oh, that's the real deal.
Written by a financial guy. So Ben Carlson, we'll give him credit for the article there. Okay. But I figure we can actually go through these 20. Some of them will go through pretty quick.
Okay.
So, but others maybe we'll spend a little time on. We're going to see what we got.
Oh, and, I don't know any of. Actually, I have not seen these. Actually,
I mean, these are laws.
Laws for real.
I mean, if it's a law, then it's like you must live by this.
20 though? I mean, it sounds like the joke. When you're about to hit the golf ball, they say, "Don't worry about it. Just think about the 27 things you need to think about before you hit the ball." And it's like, how can I possibly think of all that?
That's me in golf.
Yeah,
it's just the fact that I can't do anything.
You just walk up and hit the ball.
Stink at golf.
You know what I mean?
I hit houses.
Point that. Yeah,
you know.
That's true.
we golf at this really nice place, and I hit a house. And we're like, all right, time to keep moving. Time to keep moving.
Yeah, yeah.
And people were outside.
That I hit a lady one time.
No way.
Golf course. When I was a kid, there's a golf course here. Literally had a fairway going this way and this one going this way. And I was in my fairway and she was in my fairway. And she's like, go ahead. And I'm like, no, go. And she didn't want to go. I hit right in her thigh. I'll never forget the sound she made when it hit. She goes, oh, and fell over. Wow. And I'm like, this is it. I killed a lady. That was the end of it.
Killed a lady.
She's very nice, but she got hit so hard. I'm like,
oh, wow.
She was a target.
All right. Let's go through these 20 laws.
Yeah.
First one, avoid credit card debt like the plague.
Sure, do that.
I mean, that's the basics, Building credit is important.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's pretty simple there, right?
I was waiting for more, I guess.
Right.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Income is not the same as savings.
They're definitely opposite. Yep, or not opposite, but
yeah.
Sure.
All right, how about this? Savings is more important than investing. It says pay yourself first is such simple advice, but few people do this.
Okay, can you do both at the same time, though?
High savings rate. It gives you a huge margin of safety in life.
But does the law say you can't do both?
You have no control over the level of interest rates, stock market performance, the timing, and bear markets, but you can control your savings rate.
Unless the bank fails.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Yeah, so I don't know if I would go with saving is more important than investing because yes, your savings rate is important, but people can get that one confused. Your money has to be invested, not just saved.
Well, I think maybe his argument is, if you're investing and you have no savings and then the market goes down, now you're what you would want to pull out. I don't have savings, so I need to pull something out if there's an issue.
Yeah, I was thinking more he's looking at like the savings rate. You can control your savings rate, how much but it's kind of confusing because it's actually the savings rate going to investing.
I got it.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird one there.
That's unique to the individual, I think, because if you're in a cyclical business, if you're in construction, yeah, you need to have some dry powder, so to speak.
Yep.
If you're like a nurse with disability insurance, then you
don't need 8 months of emergency reserves.
Yeah, that's a little excessive.
Generally.
Yeah.
Live below your means, not within your means.
Well, yeah.
Yes, it makes sense. I think that there's a lot of people though. If you live below, obviously you're able to save some money. But there's a lot of people that have higher incomes that sometimes it's like, hey, they're living within their means and they're fine because they have so much excess over here.
Well, and there's a tax advantage to that too. Like if you're making money and you're living below your means, you're paying more tax than you should pay. So living within your means may mean that you have to buy some assets that you can depreciate and things like that. So hopefully you have that problem.
Yeah. If you want to understand your priorities, look at where you spend money each month.
You ever do that?
What? Look at where I put money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's constant for you, I know.
it's
I
always tracking what I'm doing, where it's going.
I don't do anything. So I don't often like have really oddball outside of the box expenses. So so when I look at where I spend money, I get depressed because I'm like, a whole month went by and I did not go out to do something. Like
Yeah.
when we go out, it's like that's where I spend my money. Just that one night.
Yeah.
So it's
All right, this next one I want to hear your input on. Automate everything.
like your deposit investment.
The best way to save more, avoid late fees, make your life easier is to automate as much of your financial life as possible.
I like that. I'm a guy that's interested, so I'm gonna look. Yeah. I just always look.
I like automating, but I have found even for myself, something as dumb as like, hey, we're watching this TV show at night and we have to subscribe to something and pay $5 a month. It's automated. And you'll quickly forget about that $5 a month.
Oh, sure.
And it's one thing if, hey, it's $5 a month. But how many of those start to add up when you automate and you just never do it? My mom, sorry, Mom, going to share the story.
Uh-oh.
She, we had AOL and we had the dial-up.
Oh, yeah.
All that. And for the longest time, she kept that even though we didn't need that anymore because it had moved past that. And I remember, talking with her and saying something. And I mean, it was like $30 a month. And it was, again, not as well back then. It was actually a lot more money. I mean, $30 doesn't go as far as it did then. But
breakfast.
But if I remember right, that was that. So yeah, automating everything can be dangerous. Just be careful. Get the big purchases right.
I can attest to that one.
The SUVs, the McMansions.
I'm searching for a big purchase right now. Something I've been saving up for a while for, and I want to get it right. Mm-hmm. And I'm being a little bit stubborn.
Oh, I think that one hits the nail on the head with me too.
Yeah.
Sold the house. Still waiting, being patient. Yeah. A vehicle, driving the old Ford Focus, just kind of cruising. But I want to.
You want to borrow the truck?
I want to get back to owning a truck, and if I build another house, I'm going to need a truck. But I'm like, not yet.
Okay, yeah,
trying to get it right.
Yep.
Build up your liquid savings account. I think that's.
It depends. That's very unique to the individual. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, and it's how much do you truly need to save?
Yeah. Well, we actually did a show on that one where we actually showed the stats. It wasn't my data. It was like done by, Wharton School of Business or something on the probability that you would have an emergency and what that emergency would cost.
Yep.
It was like 1.1 times your monthly expenses.
Yeah. There you go. Cover your insurable needs. That is such a big one that goes without saying sometimes. I feel like life insurance is one with the younger families. Term life, only term life. But something happens to you tomorrow. I mean, we don't sell life insurance. So there you go. There's a plug for all those term life insurance people. But don't buy the junk.
And disability insurance is so ridiculously cheap. You probably won't need it. You really, really probably won't need it. But, it's like $8. And
you can usually get it through your employer.
And they'll give it to, they'll pay a portion of it too. But that's a big one.
Always get the match, 401k.
Duh.
No argument there.
Yeah.
Save a little more each year.
Can I go back for a second?
Oh, yeah.
Always get the match.
Reverse.
Unless the cost of your plan is more than the match.
Oh,
I just had that yesterday.
Did you like the expense fees on the plan or like the management fees?
Front-loaded mutual funds. I mean, the most expensive I've ever seen. And I was trying to explain this to the lady, and she's like, well, I still want to get the match. And she goes, the company pays for the front load. And I said, can you send me the sheet on that? Yes, they pay for it once it's over $1 million. So, and it's $1 million in that fund, not in the account. So I was like, hey,
Sounds like somebody's brother runs that plan.
It was American Funds or Capital Group.
Way.
They're the most expensive. They don't mind saying that. But
they have, if you cross over $1 million, generally you waive the front load fee in general.
Yep.
On that. Gosh, that's crazy. So, all right, save a little bit more each year. I think that's a good just rule of thumb if you can. But I like to see is, if you're, some people say, well, I'm going to increase my 401k 1% per year.
Or that's automated like now. Starting in 2025, I think it is, the new, that Secure Act 2.0
bumps up.
Makes you do it.
But what I look at is, if nothing else, generally if you keep it the same, if you say, hey, I'm going to always put away 10% towards my 401k, well, as long as you're getting a 2% increase at your job or a 3% increase at your job, you're always increasing your savings some. So just, thinking through that is one strategy there with that one. Choose your friends, neighborhood, and spouse wisely. I haven't read all of these either. This is kind of funny.
Yeah, but it's a little late for the spouse thing. The next one. The next one.
The next one. The next one. Yeah. No. I do think, if you're not married yet, it's a good thing. Financial conversations have to be had before you get married. Period. I've seen way too many people be on totally different spectrums. They commit to each other. They're married, and it causes massive problems.
Oh yeah, I see it all the time. Just
Yep.
yeah, or they're not interested in talking about it, and they don't realize how much they're spending.
Your friends, I would think, I've always heard the saying, well, you put the 10 people around you. What is that saying? There's something there.
That's 10 people smarter than you around you, or
Right.
something. They don't want to be my friend.
I also heard a guy the one time, and he's like, yeah, you gotta pick your friends. He said, because he was this guy in like really big, kind of one of those real estate talker guys.
Yep.
And he was like, you pick your friends. He was like, I cut off everybody, anybody that wasn't, basically as though he said it is worth it to him. And I'm like,
That's nice.
personally, that's not me. I would say with your friends though, the big thing that you're the biggest thing is, that's what I always say. He says that.
thing.
So we gotta
Yeah.
come up with something there with
You
that.
got it.
Like I'm gonna donate to charity every time I say it.
Zap you with a dog collar.
So choosing your friends though, going with this one right here, is making sure that you have friends that understand your goals. And so if you're 25 years old and all your friends are going out every night to the bar and blowing all their money, and you're like, hey man, I'm really trying to save up, I'm trying to pay down debt, they either have to understand that, or you do have to be very careful there, because that's what can get you into a bind.
Yep.
Talk about money more often
Yeah.
with the right people.
Yeah, it can be insulting if you make more than somebody and you're talking. Yeah, I could see that, but yeah, talk about the money. For God's sakes, you never know when like people bring up stuff to me and I'm like, I was just on the phone not 2 days ago and I had to solve this problem, so here's the answer. You never know.
Well, having somebody to talk to as well. I mean, how many people don't have an advisor or don't have a mentor, somebody that is good with money that they can run things by? And sometimes even then I see they'll run it by, well, this guy over here, he did well, but well to them is not really the best advice always.
Is that a plug for Jazz Wealth? Because we want to be your family's advisor. Our family wants to be your
That's
family's.
a sweet slogan
I'm
right
telling
there.
you right now.
Who came up with that?
The Unfair Advantage, Jazz Wealth. Nominated 2023 USA Today's Top 500 Advisor.
That's what I'm talking about. Wow.
I'll do the marketing
All
today.
legit. Material purchase won't make you happier in the long run. So true, it will in the short term. So,
Yeah.
a material purchase won't make you happier in the long run. I think that is true, though. I will say work towards goals, though, and realize that it's not going to change your life. We built our own house. We've now sold it. We're renting right this minute because we've sold off, moved over closer to the office. And we are happier just owning our own home and having our own things with that. So I can't justify that completely, but the people who just go spend just to have something, it's not going to make you happy. I mean,
I agree.
Even when I was in the, a different house, a nicer house because it was a new house, we weren't more happy. We were just more comfortable.
Well,
I
the
guess
little
you could
things
say.
too. You end up wasting money on little things. And case in point was literally last night. Wife comes home from the grocery store and she's like, "Will you help me?" So we're both standing out there by the trunk, and she's like, "Oh, I got this thing. It's a Soda Stream." Never talked about it ever in our life. She's like, "I got this thing. We can try it out." And I looked at it, and my first thought was, "Is everything okay? You all right?" Like I felt like she bought it because she just had nothing else to bring her happiness.
Yeah.
She's like, "I just want to try it." And I'm like, I don't. Let's take it back.
Yeah. My wife has that. She'll buy something and it's the buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
I mean, she shops at Marshall's usually. I mean, that's her like, go-to place. And even like clothing, she'll buy something at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. That's her place.
I got a
Maxx.
TJ Maxx across the street from my neighborhood. Blow your doors off, man.
Yeah.
They got good stuff.
I got to tell her about it then.
Yeah.
Okay. Read a book or 10. I definitely think so.
I just never know which book to read. I'm always worried that I'm going to put so much time into this thing and it's not going to be worth it.
I think that it comes down to when you're reading the books, there's something small you can take away from everything.
Yeah.
But not every book's going to speak to you. Read about your interests. I like to enjoy. I read about my interests, but now I just read articles. I mean,
I was going to say, are you currently reading a book?
I finished one. It was more of a, gosh, I can't remember the name. This was actually a faith-based book. My mom got me. She'd be proud. See, I talked about my mom on the AOL thing, but now like
But
she'd be like,
still-
oh, he's reading. So
Yeah.
good for him.
Good for
Can't remember
him.
the title of it, but yeah, I enjoyed things like that sometimes. finance books I read some of, but now there's so many just that are not really they're just talking.
I'm currently reading 2 books. One I'm like trying. It's a little hard, but Die with Zero. It's an interesting book.
Okay.
It's a little bit marketing in there, but the concept of dying with zero, how to live your life spending each dollar at the most efficient time. I'm like, all right, you got me. I'll read your book.
Okay.
And then The Creature from Jekyll Island, because I went there and I was like, okay, I can read this book. It's like that big, huge.
Yeah. This is one that I think you'll harp on. Know where you stand. Now it says everyone should have a back of the envelope idea of their true net worth, but not as much of net worth as much as we talk about this. How much expenses?
Expenses, man.
Knowing how much money you have coming in and how much you have going out. If you know that, that's everything.
You gotta. I can't help you. Don't get me started.
Now, taxes matter.
They do. Oh, big time. I love learning about that stuff. Yeah. Hey, I like this guy.
Taxes are huge. Well, taxes and withdrawal strategy. There's so much that comes into play there. I mean, we could make a video just on that one.
They waste is the government going to do better with your dollars? We all agree, like Republican, Democrat, pro this, pro that, whatever. We all agree, no, the government can't do right by your dollars. Yeah. If you save that money, then you can give it to who you want to give it to.
Yep.
Do it.
Make more money. That's a law. It's one of the 20 laws.
Well, I mean, if you made it this far, yeah.
I mean, that's the goal.
Sure.
Work better, but it just all depends. And then the last one, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on. Don't think about retirement, but financial independence.
It's true. I would give him maybe 50% on that one. You will reach if we say retirement is when you physically can't work anymore. Yeah. Okay, there's something we have to budget there, but like most people don't want to retire because they can't physically work anymore. So how do you get your life to sustain itself before that? Maybe, And that goes to that Die with Zero book, and that's not a plug for that book because I don't know if it's great yet. I'm literally about a quarter of the way through it. But it's the concept of one of his examples was his friends wanted him to go snowboarding, and he's got a degenerative disc in his L3, L4, and he's like, no, I'm going to wait a couple years and do that, save some money. But in reality, the dollars that he had now were most efficiently used right this moment to go snowboarding with his friends because he doesn't know if his back will get any better. So it was the concept of doing that. Yeah. If you can afford it, of course, is one thing. But yeah, plan for sort of sustainability, then retirement being I can't work anymore.
Yeah. No, I think that depends on where you're at in life, where you physically are, where you financially are.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you have to just focus on retirement at some point because that is financial independence. But the guy I talked with yesterday on planning, he wants to leave his job. He is interested in some other things. And he's like, that's his goal, is to basically be financially independent enough to be able to make the choice.
Yep.
To say, hey, I don't want to work for you anymore. I want to go try these things. I have enough money that I need to make a little, but not a lot.
Yeah, same thing. Had a client that had a really high-end job and quit and literally went to go work at Southwest hourly on the field and everything. And every time I talk to him, he's like, man, I'm by the airplanes. There's stuff going on. There's cars going by. He's like, I get to do this with this. He's all excited. He's living life.
That's great. That's great. All right. So let me ask you this. Did you know that you can't run in a campsite?
No.
You can only ran because it's past tense.
Oh, my God.
I read it and I was like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's a little funny. All right, you want another one then? Was that one too bad?
Give me a good one if you got
You want a good one? Let me get you a good one.
I'm not much of a comedian myself. But
why didn't anyone laugh at the cow's jokes?
They were in a bad mood.
It was utterly bad. Ooh, that was good too, though.
Close.
That was good.
Oh,
bad mood.
I'm not much of a comedian, but
You're a magician.
I have a magic trick for you today.
Show me. Show me what you got.
All right.
What you got?
Here we go.
Oh, man, this is exciting.
Okay.
My wife loves magic.
Heads or tails?
Heads.
Boom. Battery.